Well, it's a collaborative composition project, and that includes two composers and four cellists, a remote viewing director, a facilitator, and artistic director, all working together in a certain fashion to create a brand new piece of music in 3 days, which will be performed on the evening of the third day.
Remote viewing is the ability to gather information from distances in space and time using non-normal senses. So there's a long background of this involving the CIA and other agencies where they were able to gather information from the Soviet Union, for example, just using the capabilities of the mind. And one other capability that they kind of discovered and did use was the capability of precognition at a distance. So that you could gather information from distant places, but also in the future.
On the surface, remote viewing is a process where you go into a relaxed, meditative kind of state, encouraging your mind to vibrate at a different frequency level than we're used to. Our normal wide awake frequency level is fairly fast in what we call our intellectual mind or something. And so we go through what they call a cool down session. There's lots of ways to do it. You can actually do meditation if you want, or listen to sounds, or just talk into a relaxed state. But you get your mind in a relaxed state, which actually starts to have a different rhythm to it. And to my understanding, the folks this week didn't say this, but basically I think what that does is start allowing different parts of your brain that normally aren't being given the priority voice, giving them more voice, and the parts of your brain that normally are operating under the heavy-duty prefrontal lobe, intellectual, aware, anxious, alert kind of brain, saying, no, it's okay, you can just relax. So you get into a kind of a, not sleep or even a near sleep, but something between sleep and fully awake. And then what you do is there's something that you concentrate on, and it's like numbers or something. And ultimately what you end up doing is paying attention to what you're experiencing. It can be a fleeting image, it can be, that's usually what I got, was like sort of a fleeting image of something. And once in a while I'd get an idea, a word that would come to me. And normally we wouldn't pay attention to those things. I don't know where those come from, I don't know what that means. And you go, no, what's that? Write that down. And so that's where it starts.
I think the music will sound, I think it'll be accessible. I think it will be very descriptive of the targets which the audience will see. Each target is a picture and a poem that are related. And those were selected 6 months ago. And they're already in the program, which has already been printed, but the viewers had not seen them yet. So that needed to be, because they needed to just view them without any prior knowledge of any type. So they didn't, before they arrived, they didn't know what even the targets were going to be.
Well, we read through the first sketches yesterday. I think they're going to find it delightful. One of the things that I think sort of goes as a through line through that piece, and I think it ties into remote viewing, is that the music is full of surprises. It's an outgrowth of the process we went through, where we were given for each movement we were given music from 4 different individuals, and we had to figure out what to do with that stuff. Now, we didn't have to use it all, but we ended up using most of it. And ultimately, just about the time you think you're settled into something, pow, we go somewhere else. And I think that's totally reflective of the experience. I found it totally valid after doing the remote viewing experience, because it's the most surprising stuff, the stuff, where'd that come from? That actually turns out to be the most valid in terms of being somehow related to the unknown object that you're supposed to be connecting with. So the music kind of reflects that. And the few folks that were in the audience for the rehearsal yesterday were absolutely delighted. And I think they will be tonight as well.
Simple, short little thing. That's pretty much all I got for you. The other stuff was just like atmospheric, like probably like open fifths and fourths, just big,
Big spaces.
big
Cubists' paintings, you have that sense of sort of, oh, here's something I can relate to, but it's not full, it's not complete. Now we go somewhere else. And that's exactly what the music does. Yeah.
That it's a very close-knit and supportive type of environment, and that needs to be the case in order for something like this to take place, because we have to create a safe environment. People need to feel safe in order to pursue, something like this, or really anything optimally. And so I think that is illustrated by something like this. People can come and see how closely we all work together. They'll also see, say a student is interested in composition, they'll come through here to this concert, or visit on one of these days, and see instrumentalists working together, and they'll see two, award-winning composers just down the hall working together. And then they'll also see something that looks kind of weird, which is the remote viewing part. But that just looks like, it is really not any more extraordinary than a type of meditation, or just, we have with us Marty Rosenblatt, who's was a computational physicist and has worked on lots of projects. And there's a real sort of science bent to the protocol for remote viewing. So it's actually very, very specific, that part of it, and which surprises people maybe. So it's not a Ouija board festival. There's a really strict protocol that these viewers are using to create a connection with the target that they haven't seen yet.
Idaho? Well, disclaimer, I taught here a couple of years ago, so I am familiar with the College of Idaho. The last 3 days has only reinforced my admiration for the institution. I think it's a wonderful place. I love the students, I love the faculty. Sam is a quintessent example of the kind of faculty, a person who's in and of himself a spectacular performer, but what does he love to do besides perform and play his cello? He loves to teach. And that comes through when you meet the faculty, and then it resonates with the students. The students know they're being taught by people that love it. And the college, being here for what I would consider college is to be here for, which is to be an environment for learning and experimentation. Learning with all this gray hair, still learning. So no, I really like the place.